Hello and welcome to another installment of AskJP, hosted by your favorite technology salesperson, me, JP, and our infamous network wizard and CTO for Matrix Networks, Jeremy Ness. Say hello, Jer.
Hello, everyone.
These are segments where we field questions about technology and networking from our ravenous fan base. Yes, we have a ravenous fan base. All right, the next question comes from 1930s guy. All right. 1930s guy wants to know what's all this business and hubbub about the OSI model? And why do I, 1930s guy, need to understand what it's all about? First of all, 1930s guy, I love your accent. Wish I could do it better than you, but I can't. So, anyways, before I get into the OSI model, Jer, I hear OSI, and the first thing I think about is organ screen impressions. This is where I used to take my jerseys back in the day and get my name branded onto the back of my jersey. So, beyond that, from a technology perspective, 1930s guy, I know where you're going with this. There is a model out there that kind of helps nerdy IT guys really kind of make sense of the endless heap of acronyms. I know it involves networking, from layer one is your network layer, your physical layer, layer 7 is your application layer, and then there's all the layers in between. Moreover, I believe that they ripped the 7 layers off from the dip. I feel like it should be like 6 or 9. Like 7 feels like they're just like copping out a little bit. Like, come on now, is it really just 7? I think like 9 makes more sense, but you tell me otherwise.
So to your point, most people don't care about the OSI model. Really, for us networking professionals, what allows us to do is, A, logically think about the different pieces, but B, also communicate where there might be an issue, right? So, of course, JP, I do have to ask you, what are the 7 layers?
Well, I nailed 1 and 7. We got the physical layer, and then we've got the layer 2, which is after layer 1, and then there's layer 3, which is something that has the ability to do more than layer 2. Layer 4, I know, is the transport layer. I know that, right? And I don't know really what it does, but there's layer 4 there. And I've heard a lot of times from IT guys like yourself, 5 and 6, that we don't really need to know much about those. So that's
Yep,
my.
that's pretty close, right? So, layer 1 being the physical layer, it's oftentimes going to be your copper, fiber, things of that nature. Layer 2 is our data link layer. So that's really where Ethernet lives, right? So we're talking about Ethernet switch. That's our layer 2.
That's like
I've talked
private
about,
connections or
yep,
like.
exactly, right? It's just any medium that you can run a layer 3 on top of. So other things that live at layer 2 are like ATM networks, frame relay, MPLS is a layer 2 protocol. So, but again, Ethernet's really what we're all familiar with. Layer 3 moves us up to our network layer, right? So that's our IP layer. Um, that's really kind of the most common layer 3 at this point. We used to have NetBUI and IPS-SPX and a few others, but really IP has become ubiquitous. Again, when you think about layer 2 switch, again, that's just going to be kind of that empty pipe, open pipe, where layer 3 adds in that capability to route IP addresses. Right? It understands IP addresses, it can route IP addresses. So that's where that layer 3 nomenclature comes from. So you said layer 4 is our TCP and UDP, being adding the notion of port numbers on top of IP addresses. TCP adding that reliability, that reliable 3-way handshake as far as a transport layer. Again, 5 and 6 being our session and presentation layers. They're more logical. Like there's not real a huge
No bits to fiddle.
Yeah, exactly. Again, because this OSI model again works for a ton of different protocols, right? But really, we all refer to it now just with Ethernet and IP and TCP and UDP being so ubiquitous. Again, 5 and 6 don't really come into play much. And then layer 7 again is our application, right? So that's our HTTP, that's our SMTP being mail, that's all of those different protocols. That's going to also be it's often referred to layer 7 firewalls being the capability of recognizing those packets, right? So right now we're on RingCentral. It's probably some kind of RTP or SRTP stream. So for a firewall, like, oh, I see that's RTP being real-time protocol. You'll have the capability to identify that and then do something based on that traffic. So that's kind of our layers from 1 to 7.
Damn, sounds complicated. It was all over my head. But thanks for your time, Jarrett. yeah, if you folks want to take a deeper dive into networking, security, or want to talk endlessly about the OSI model, don't hesitate. JP at Matrix Networks. If you don't love your network, you don't love your job.
And I would tell you a UDP joke, but you might not get it.
Technology, right off the bat, I know a couple things. I know it's 7 layers, which right out of the gate, I feel like it's a bit of a cop out. It's like the salad, John Elway's number, Mickey Mantle's number. I feel like it should be 6 or 9. Like 7 just feels like too easy. Lucky number 7. Either way, it's 7 layers.